Hi, my name is Matt. Welcome to Unbearable 73. Peter Dinklage has proven himself to be either a hypocrite or a troll or money-grubbing jerk. Do you all remember when Dinklage said, literally, I'm quoting him directly now, literally, no offense to anyone, but I was sort of taken aback. They were very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White, but you're telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're making that a bleeping backward story about seven dwarves living in a cave together. Have I done nothing to advance the cause from my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. The jerk basically said that due to his work, roles like the seven dwarves should be limited because they're not progressive. I'm honestly not sure what his logic is, because Dinklage is most famous for playing Tyrion Lannister, not only a character who suffers from dwarfism, but a misogynist, a murderer, and a schemer, and many other bad things. But hey, it's okay, because in the end, Tyrion is not evil as the others, right? There's a trope in fiction, particular horror. It runs something like a human is grotesque physically or is perceived to be as such from birth defect or horrific injury, or because people have a screwed up conception of them. So either they look monstrous or they are thought to look monstrous. And so they get treated like a monster, and thus they become monsters. The most well-known example of this, which almost everyone has heard of, is The Phantom of the Opera. This story began as a novel written by French author Gaston Leroux, Le Fantôme de l'Opéra. I know my French pronunciation is horrible, but whatever. Which, of course, in English is The Phantom of the Opera. This novel is loosely based on some actual events that occurred at the Paris Opera in the 19th century. The premise is that the Paris Opera is believed to be haunted by a ghost, but in reality, this ghost is a deformed musician named Eric. He becomes obsessed with one of the performers named Christine, and the plot ensues. Okay? You should go watch the musical version of it and the 1925 Lon Chaney black and white version. They're both awesome. Okay? The Counter Trope is a story of someone who's disfigured and treated as a monster, but instead becomes a hero. The most classic story you might have heard of here is Beauty and the Beast. This is a French fairy tale written in 1740 by Gabrielle Suzanne Barbeau de Villeneuve. There's an anime called The Melody of Oblivion, which explores both of these tropes, amongst others. But the general point is that we're confronted with all these sorts of uncomfortable images as a species, whether physical or mental. You can't avoid them with political correctness and suppression. You can't alter the consequences of them with deconstruction and suppression. So here we have Dinklage complaining about the use of dwarves in movies. After he made a profit, after his career advanced because of it, I guess Dinklage now knows this profiteering off of grotesquerie is wrong, and it should never be done, right? Then why the frack is he playing the alter ego of the Toxic Avenger in the Toxic Avenger remake? In case you didn't know, this is the Toxic Avenger. Handy for my phone alarm to go off at that time, right? Alerting us to the arrival of the Toxic Avenger on my screen. Anyway, I mean, there's nothing disfigured about this dude, right? He's clearly not a disfigurement or thought monster in any way. I mean, is it just dwarfism that Dinklage considers off balance due to his progressivism and not other disfigurements like being disfigured due to exposure to toxic chemicals? Dinklage has clearly demonstrated one thing, and that is, so long as Dinklage gets what Dinklage wants, everything else is secondary to that. Dinklage has a net worth of like $25 million, according to Google Fu. It's not like he needs to be in Legendary's big budget remakes of the Toxic Avenger or he'll starve. Maybe it's just that Dinklage is not a dwarf, but rather a money-grubbing troll who pines his ways in some dark cave, dropping what he thinks are salty takes in the media, while he takes advantage of all those roles based on disfigurement, which he thinks his career should somehow have made gone away. So what do you think? Are you going to give the toxic Dinklager some of your hard-earned cash when this movie drops? I'm not. I think we should take Dinklage's advice and be progressive and stop watching movies with Dinklage in them. Comment down below if you have any questions for me about this video. Please share your thoughts. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Like if you like. Dislike if you dislike. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me. My name is Matt. This has been Unbearable 73. Have a nice day. I am out of here.